All right, so I'm gonna try to do something different. I'm gonna try to show you guys how I do this sound deadening stuff in the door. I usually don't set up the camera and work because I kind of just work like, I feel like doing this now, and I just go and do it. And I don't really have I know where I'm going, but I don't really have a set plan, so I tend to jump around. Maybe I got ADHD, I should probably look into that. It could explain a lot. So anyhow, what we're gonna do is I did the passenger side door yesterday. I kind of put that door together. I'll show you guys that after I'm done doing this. But we're gonna set up this sound deadening mat in the door. This stuff is really easy to work with, and I did take the time yesterday when I did this. I kind of like trimmed around this and around that, but I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's really necessary. So I'm gonna do this one a little different because I'm hoping that I'm gonna be in the door just this one time. The only thing I might change on these doors down the road is the door panels. Excuse me, I'm not happy with them. I'll go into that a little bit later, why I'm not happy with them, but let's get working on this door. The tools we're working with, someone keeps texting me. Yeah, keep texting me. I want to answer your text right now. That's not nice. I shouldn't say that. It's actually a good friend of mine. I'm sorry. So we're going to start with basic tools. What do you got? Got a little razor knife. You have scissors. We have a marker, and we have a screwgee. So really the only thing we're going to take out of this door to move right now is just this inside handle. I'm just going to take that out. So there is this clip that holds that rod into place, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, yesterday I broke the other one in the other door because they're like super brittle, so I think I'm going to try to leave that on. So I'm just going to pull this handle out of the way, and I'm just going to try to trim. See, it'll come out easy. Watch, I'm going to go to put that back in that clip, and I'm going to totally break this clip like I did the other one. Take the clip out. All right, so this holds these ones. I hope you can see them. I'm pointing at that kind of go around the outer edge of the door. Those you don't want to cover. Why don't you want to cover them, you ask? Because that's where your door panel snaps into, so you don't want to cover those. You want to make this easy on yourself. Now, I'm gonna kind of just eyeball it. I want to get it down close to those as I can. Boom. So this is the first piece. Now, obviously there's a opening in the door, so we don't want to press too hard on that opening. You don't want to push that stuff into the opening. You just want to get it stuck 90% around, and it's okay because the stuff is thin. I mean, you can overlap it a bit if you want to. So the trick is really just coverage. Just try to, going this way is the best way that I found on the door after doing the passenger side. So I'm just going to try to do the same thing. Just try to line it up, get it straight. Now, this here, see, we're kind of coming half into that speaker grill area. I'm going to put a full piece right there. So I'm just going to take this, just kind of flatten it out. Just cut it. Cuts pretty good. That's it. You could save that piece, I mean, if you're getting on the project and you're starting to run out of material, obviously, you could be a little bit more cautious with your cuts and your planning, but I have plenty of this to go around, so I'm not really super concerned about that. So I'm just eyeballing it, boom. It's gonna go in there. Oh, I'm thinking something like that. It's all right. Make some mistakes maybe, it'll be good. So now obviously when the speaker goes in, you got to cut that out, but it's actually nice to have the speaker mount. You want it to mount on a nice, kind of insulated. It's like almost like, it's not metal on plastic where it's going to vibrate and it's going to sound. And see, there used to be a plastic, like in most door panels, some kind of plastic insulation. So we're gonna go here and, you know, trying to get super technical. What I'm gonna do with the door rod, how that comes through, so I'm gonna kind of eyeball it, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a slit, and I think I'm gonna come in there like that. So I'm gonna hold this kind of, okay, goes like that, and I'll push it, kind of put an indent, and you can see the witness mark. So I know that door rod is gonna come through there. So we're gonna go kind of on the either side of that, somewhat straight, a straightish. We're gonna go straightish line on that. We're not going into any serious arts and craft competition, so you know if the lines are decently straight, that's all you're shooting for. So rough guess, something like that. I'm gonna come through. Yeah, something like that is good. This is where the handle attaches, and I'll be honest with you, once you get this stuff pressed into where it's going, you could actually just poke those holes and run the screws right through it. We do have that clip, so we're just gonna kind of get an idea now where that clip is. You're gonna look down, okay, it's right about, actually gonna move this up. Yeah, I'm gonna go right about there. That's where that clip goes. So I wanna say, so we're gonna go right about here, and then we're just gonna cut out that rectangle. And needless to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway, you do not take the paper off the backing until you're done. You do not remove that paper backing. If you do, you're gonna be really making it hard on yourself. So you get all your cuts done first, and then you go ahead and get that backing out of the way. Let's see what we got now. And what you wanna do is kind of press it into the door where it's gonna be. That's pretty much where it's gonna. I'll be smart. Try to put this clip back in before we go ahead and put that stuff on. But watch, I'm gonna go to snap that on, I'm gonna break that. I did the other one yesterday. And we have to make one more cut. Where's my razor? I had a little end hanging off of here. We're just gonna cut that. And then if you want, you can just put that in. I think that's gonna work fine. And like I said, the handle, the two screws where they go, I mean, I'll try to cut this out to slide the handle back in, but once that's slid back in, the screws line up, you can just send them right through this stuff. But if you're trying to like drill like a self-tapper through this stuff, you're gonna have to pre-drill it, because the self-tapper, the end of it will clog up with all the butyl or whatever you wanna call it they use on the other side, and it will wad up your screw and you won't be able to, you know, drill into something. So I'm thinking we can do one or two things. I can do this piece in here, and then I can do a full piece that I cut, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna try to use some of the scraps we got. Now, same thing with this handle. I wanna kinda go in to where we want it to line up. So we're gonna make a couple cuts on this, just try to straighten this, just trying to straighten this out as best we can. And I think this missing, see, if it's missing the paper on the back, it's really hard to cut. That paper was peeled up. And this piece, I'm gonna take a little bit off the length, but I'm not gonna take as much as I did that piece. Just gonna take a little bit, just try to straighten it out. So how I'm gonna do this one is I'm just gonna get it stuck on the door where I want it, and I'm gonna be able to feel out where that handle goes. So I know that handle goes in there. So we're gonna go something like, obviously cutting with a razor, try to be careful. This razor's getting kind of dull, so I think it's gonna be time for me to, it's one of those disposable, you're supposed to be able to break the tip off of it and use a new blade, but I had a hell of a time trying to get it to break. Let me trim it on here. Actually, all right, we're back. I had someone come by the shop, so I had to stop. Now, see it? There's the hole for the handle, where the 2 screws go. The screws will pass right through this. I'm gonna get this and kind of just form it before I pull the backing off, kind of get it to learn where it's going. Now I'm gonna grab one more piece, do that. I'm gonna push it right, ooh. Kind of get it lined up. We're gonna trim it for sure. I think we're gonna go, just gonna rough guess it a little bit. Just gonna rough guess it. And right there. Yeah, looks pretty good. So now with this guy, just gonna kind of, I'm gonna actually cut this out. All right, let's see what we got. Like a glove, like it was meant to go there. Now we got the handle, screw. Oh, I lost one, unbelievable, it's right here. Crisis averted. All right, let's see if we can put this in there without breaking it. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I gotta get a small little pick or a little pry tool to open up that clip. Let's see if it is. I mean, you can take the screwdriver and go like that and make it a little easier, kind of break the foil on the outside of the sound deadening. So that's done. Let's see if we can just pry this clip open just a bit. Now you can see it kind of does contact that a little bit, so we can actually just kind of trim this a little bit. I mean, it's not going to be 100% perfect, but it's going to be a lot better than it was. Now, if you wanted to, you could put a small little piece right here and kind of like stick it so this doesn't flap. So if you wanted to, you could go something like this, stick this against that, and it'll kind of hold it where we want it. So basically what's left, carve out the hole for your speaker, find out where your screws are going for your speaker, but that's how how easy it is. I think it took me 15 minutes total to do that, and it'll make a world of difference. So if you're putting speakers in your car, whether it's an old truck like this or a newer car, I mean, if you like to do a little bit of different kind of stuff, you're gonna keep the car for a while, pull all your door panels, buy a box of this stuff off Amazon for like $49 or whatever it is, really inexpensive, put it in your car and you're good to go. Now, newer cars are gonna be maybe a little bit more intricate, what's inside the door, you might have to do a lot more cutting. I'm not saying it's gonna be this easy. There's literally nothing but a handle, a window crank, and your speaker. That's it, and I'll have to cut a little bit for where the tweeter's gonna be in the door panel, but I'll do that later. But just wanted to show you. So I did this to the whole inside of the truck, and I might even, on the floor there, do a second application because I got a good amount left. But I just wanted to show you guys that's how you install sound deadening.